Hey everyone, you're in the right place. We're just trying to get everyone connected from Germany and here we go. Yay!
Germany.
Hi.
Ciao.
Hi. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Yay.
Good. Are you guys exhausted from an awesome conference? And Hillary, you're probably still jet lagged.
No.
You're perfect. Really fresh.
Yeah, no, we're really excited to be here and see your face. We wish you could be here with us, but we can give you a quick view of the room before we get started if you want.
Yeah, let's do that.
This is the hotel that we've been staying in.
So cool.
And
this is the bar where we are right
this
now.
is the bar that we are in.
Naturally. Well, I decided to put my water for this morning in a Guinness glass. You know, it's only 10 a.m. here, so I decided to go for water, but...
Well, it is 5 p.m. here, so it's
Definitely
totally...
Feel
free to
it's
join
5 o'clock somewhere, right?
So I think we can sort of... Seems like we've got a few people in here. I know we have fewer people joining us today, and we're just going to keep this super casual and kind of on the short side, I think. But we are here in Bonn, Germany, where we've just wrapped the very first European SCN8A and SCN2A gathering, organized by these two, among others. Yeah, absolutely. Some amazing clinician researchers from the Danish Epilepsy Institute, from here in Bonn, and other parent advocates from the SCN8A community, as well as these guys, and Ben. So I don't know if everybody is aware, but Ben was unable to join us, and we're all sending him our very, very best. We miss him terribly. He's very much on our minds. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was really hard not to have him here.
Yeah, a lot. It has been the same. I mean, without him, because he did a lot of job, and we started working on this 1 year ago, probably more than 1 year and a half ago. And we back and forth was one of the most piece of the puzzle, and so it's. But we miss him a lot. Yeah.
Thanks, Karen.
Thanks.
Yeah. And we are going to get the sort of more traditional series as we get back here underway Wednesday. And just give everyone a heads up, that's going to be a meeting together with a representative from the FDA to talk to us a bit about their clinical trial process and beyond. But we wanted to do the soft launch here from Germany and just show some support for our European friends and colleagues, and give all of you at home a little bit of insight that, those of you who couldn't join, and talk a little bit about some of the international collaboration that's underway and the things we're thinking about. So we can do just the kind of quick intro to remind everyone it's been a year since we've done this series. And, this is the Clinical Trial Readiness series is really focused on creating an environment where we can all engage in really casual conversation. This is going to be even more casual than usual since Roland's drinking.
Yeah.
And we're all exhausted.
And I have a fan.
I might put my sunglasses on. There's other people going to be joining us probably. Who knows? But we do want to just focus on that this is about basic education on clinical trials and expanding it to look at clinical trial process, preparatory efforts, and other ways to continue to engage beyond clinical trials as we, and updates from our new partners who are working toward clinical trials. So why is this actually a super appropriate topic for our clinical trial readiness is true international collaboration plays a huge role in clinical trial readiness, especially when you're looking at such a small indication like ours, where we really can't afford to leave anybody behind or not think about, different world populations. And so working closely with international groups who know the details of the lives in their regions and their countries is absolutely essential just thinking from a clinical trial perspective, but certainly also we want to do it because we do everything better together. But it's really essential to have a global approach to a trial. So speaking of international collaboration, these guys, I know you already started talking, but maybe you can each do a little intro about yourselves, who you are, for anyone who might, any of these people who don't know who you are.
Shelley, Karen, Casey.
Give yourself a little intro.
Yeah.
Well, some of you might know me. I'm Roland from Munich, and we what else? Father of Bruno. I was in Baltimore a year and a half ago, and I would have loved to have been in Seattle last winter, but nobody was.
Yeah.
That is true.
That is true.
That. Yeah.
And let's see when the next time is we all get together. We've been trying to gather and corral all the local families in our respective European countries under one Facebook group or WhatsApp group, or whatever, to connect and do stuff. But others have been more successful in officializing this, and I'll pass over to Cinzia for that part.
Visualizing.
This is this other person that no one here knows.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, you know that me and Ben have set up two organization in Europe. I'm the founder of SCN8A Italia and Ben of SCN8A UK and Ireland. And we hope that many other organizations will be set up in a while. That's why in Europe we have so many countries with so different laws. So we need to have a local registered organization, and then one of the next project that we have in mind is to have a federation in a European Federation of SCN8A, like Drave already has. It covers as an umbrella all the organization. That's why we need also to work with locally with the policy maker at the local level, but also at the European level. So we need both. And we really hope that this conference inspired many families that were there, attended in presence and also online, to become more active in their own country, since they know the reality of the country. And so I think, this conference started with a very not formal gathering that we planned to have in Munich in March 2020, but of course the time was not really lucky because the COVID just started and Italy was completely locked at that time, so we canceled. And then in the meanwhile, Roland started building a very strong relationship with the 2A community here in Germany, but also outside Germany. And this was really, really important, and so that's why we decided to join the efforts. And since we share lots of similarities between 2A and 8A, and this has become a very official conference and family gathering. And so we are really happy for what we have brought to the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely official. It's real.
Really
there were
official.
A lot of people here.
Yeah.
A lot of really awesome kids. And we all got to get to know each other a little bit better, which was really extraordinary. And I think bringing the 2A and the 8A populations together is really smart, because sort of expanded the population that you could access, and a lot of the clinicians are working in that same space.
And Drave.
Yeah.
While we're at it.
Also Drave. Yeah. Also, for example, Drave representatives from Germany, but also from Spain, decided to come to the conference because it was quite huge. There were lots of topics that covered also genetic epilepsies in general, like ketogenic diet or SUDEP, and they decided to come because so probably new collaborations will be at the horizon, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I just have to say, like, I have goosebumps and chills, honestly. Like, I get emotional. Like, I met all, you and Roland and Ben and Cinzia and in 2019, and I remember you guys going, "This is so cool. We should do this." And then you did it. You guys did it. And like, it just shows like 3 really passionate parents and how much you guys have done. So awesome.
Don't let me cry, please.
Yeah.
That's my job. Like, that's my unofficial title, right? Is to make people cry.
Yeah.
And it's funny because that's what came up in the conversation was that some of the parents in the room were saying, how do we in our own countries do what you've been doing? And
Yeah.
we kind of let them in on the secret that no one really knows what they're doing.
Yeah,
They
just
just do it.
do it.
Yeah.
Just show up and do it. And just like we take care of our kids in ways that we never would have expected to, just show up and do what the community needs. And
Yes.
these two and Ben have been just knocking it out of the park.
Infamous.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So Karen, they're infamous. That's awesome. So maybe I know a lot of you have been following from home, but obviously with the time difference, those really early sessions were probably not as accessible. So Shelly, reading my mind as usual. Cinzia, for those in North America that didn't wake up at 3 a.m., how do we watch?
We watch the conference.
Yeah.
It has been recorded, so we share. Don't ask me where. I mean, in a couple of days, the password and the recording will be available for at least 1 month for sure. And so you have the link. If you have registered, and of course you can share in your family newsletter the link, and also the password to access. It was covered by password. We will be covered by password. The recording, just because many speakers present some not yet published data, say also some sensible, videos regarding seizures, and so they don't want that the video, all the conference will be spread. I don't know, YouTube or somewhere. So as many congress does, we have a password, and the audio recording will be available for. At least 1 month, probably a little bit more, but will be explained. Yeah.
And I think it would be great if we kind of just give an outline of some of the topics that were covered for those of you who couldn't watch.
Yeah. Do you want that I said something, or do you want to say something?
I haven't got them printed in my head. Have you got the program somewhere?
Okay,
There's
yeah,
all
okay,
sorts.
Okay, so the highlights from the conference. Yeah. Okay, there's some noise in the background. Okay, I think, just we have this news that yesterday we have 160 attendees online in total from 2A community. So this was, it's a very great results. And plus I have the exactly counted from the event company couple of days, so we share the data. But 160 attendees online, I think is pretty much good result. And I think the top three highlights from the conference have been the announcement of the Kickoff, the natural history study on SCN8A, like SCN8A already had and is already running from 2 years. This will be prospective, so not retrospective, that has been already done, but will be prospective, because you know that I don't want to enter in scientific details, but with the prospective, lots of bias they will be cancelled. So this will be it's very a milestone for our community. And it's really important that starting now, before the huge clinical trials and also the open clinical trials will start. So it's very important. The other one that we were really, amazed by was the second presentation that we had yesterday about the cost analysis that has been done about the burden of disease in Dravet community. And this is very important analysis that will be done in the future. We have already an agreement with the Professor Adam. It's difficult to pronounce. It's a German name.
Polish name.
It's
There we go.
Polish, but it works. He works in
He's great.
Frankfurt. Is a Switzerland. No. Anyways, Adam from Frankfurt, and he's a professor in Frankfurt University, and has done a huge job with Dravet community. In Dravet, for example, for getting the approval of a stiripentol, demonstrating that if you reduce the hospitalization costs, it makes sense for the policymaker get approved a drug that can, reduce the hospitalization. And this is very the summary, the squeeze of the
basically. It was one hospitalization already accounted for the cost. And he's looking at the healthcare costs in a really broad way. So looking not only at the direct healthcare costs, the cost of a hospitalization, but looking also at the cost to the caregivers, lost wages, lost time, and so on and so forth. And so it's a really important bit of data to gather to help for drug approval, to help for
insurance
arguments
approval.
For payers, and then also for policymakers. So
for policymakers.
Also for like collateral costs, such as parents get treatment for depression because of stuff. It escalates.
Yeah.
He's great.
And we've already talked to him about designing the study in a way that would allow for fluidity across countries. So instead of looking at the cost of a hospital bed in Germany, which is, for the Dravet population, that he just worked in Germany, and so you could use all the German figures, but instead what we can look at is hospital days. And then when you take those figures to your own country to deal with your own policymakers or your own payers, you can adjust accordingly for what the hospital bed costs in the US or in Switzerland or in Germany or in Italy, which is all going to be different.
Yeah, definitely. And this cost analysis is a huge study that will start soon for SCN8A and SCN8A population all around the world. There will be a questionnaire that will be validated. So the translation will be validated. So it's just not a random translation, will be validated. So will be a study that then will be published. So we are really looking for so much on this too. And the third highlight it was the experience of Diana Lund, Philadelphia, the Danish Epilepsy Hospital, with a ketogenic diet on SCN8A. So since they had pretty good results in this 50% of children treated, they want to stratify the benefits from ketogenic diet with the variants. So because they want to go even more deeply into the genotype-phenotype correlation. That has been also a huge part of the talks that they did. So it's not just talking about SCN8A randomly, but we have to talk very, very specific about the variant. And there was also another highlights from Lerche, Holger Lerche, professor from Tübingen. That is also another important center here in Germany that performed all the functional studies on the different variants in SCN8A, and also to establish if they are loss or gain of function. And I forgot what I was saying. And he was also highlighted this is a very beginning study at the beginning, but sometimes to explain the wide spectrum in the same variant, they look at the whole genome, because there are some disease modifier that can interfere. This is a very, embryonal study.
It's very early stages.
It's very early stage, but just to make you aware about how many things have moved in a couple of years for SCN8A. So maybe we'll not reach, the miracle drug and for all the kids, but we have a very concrete opportunity to the horizon. I'm tired. And so we are really hopeful that the future will be a little bit brighter for our kids.
That's awesome. And it just goes to show how much we really do need a collaborative effort across international, because why should everybody keep redoing things or working on the same thing, but in separate countries, when we can come together and work together? So that's awesome.
Yeah. And I think one of the themes that became, as an American, things work differently in the US. We all speak the same language across this giant country. It takes up a lot of space, and we can do work in California that's in the same language as in New York, and it makes parts of that are really simple. Here, being here at a meeting with
It's
the,
challenging, isn't it? That was
European
interesting.
families, it's really interesting because this thing happens that Americans are so not used to, where it's like everyone is speaking some kind of a melange of different languages and understanding each other and translating in like on the fly, and speaking with our hands and just kind of understanding each other. And
Yeah.
there's something that became really clear to me as Cinzia was talking about an approach to this work across the continent, where yes, individual countries have to have their own approaches. They have to deal with their own problems. They have to be able to advise and, at a governmental level for drug approval, as well as all sorts of other things that come up for this community.
Yeah.
But if you're not working together across those countries at the same time, you lose that momentum.
Yeah,
So
sure.
it's this balance, right?
Yeah.
And it's a balance that we were already striking, I think, across the Atlantic.
Yeah.
How you leverage each other's experience and but give people the ability to do the right thing for their population.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can. I mean, for example, I can't do the job for the German community because I don't know anything about German laws. So we need people from German that become advocates and work for the German part with the policymaker that we have in Germany, and the same for Spain, Portugal, and everything.
Find something.
Yeah, and then of course we need also a collaboration, international collaboration, because it doesn't make any sense to work alone. And so it's I mean, I think that families pretty much understand the importance to become more active, because as Roland said during the speech, we did all this, just me, Roland, and Ben, plus two SCN8A moms. And so imagine what we can do if we were more. If we would more. No.
If we were more.
If we were more. Yeah.
And you're going to have to do it again.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, sure.
So
Yeah.
you want to tell everybody when that's going to
Yeah,
happen?
because this was just
This is the problem
first.
of doing it.
This was the first, of course, conference and family gathering, SCN8A and SCN8A. And we already, so Professor Gardella and Dr. Walid Fazeli, that is the host of the event here in Bonn, already announced the dates for the next edition, so the second edition, that will be in Denmark, in Diana Lund, so Danish Epilepsy Center, Diana Lund, Philadelphia, in March 2023.
Okay.
2023. Yeah. This because it doesn't make any sense to repeat next year, because we did it now in September because we were forced to postpone because COVID from February, of course. And so I hope that the COVID will not be around in 2023. So we can see everyone in Denmark next time. The time I was very concerned about the weather, and they told me that the weather would be perfect at springtime in Denmark, so we'll be okay. And so yeah, we really look for that. So this means that this collaboration with the SCN8A community will continue, and we grow up.
Yeah, of course, Shelley, and of course, Karen. Can't wait to see you there.
Yeah, sure.
And I want to also just say how gracious everyone was, including the professors, about making sure that the timing worked so that we can maximize. We don't expect people from Europe to be able to travel every year to the US for our gathering, or for people from the US to be able to travel to Europe, or wherever else winds up setting up their own events, if we start to see them in South America and in Asia. But we wanted to be sure that people wouldn't be exhausted from travel, so we're trying to keep that sort of 6-ish month break, so that those of you who are going to be in both places can do that. And so we are really trying to coordinate that, and we'll probably also coordinate some virtual touchstones in between to make sure that we're working across the Atlantic together.
Sure. Yeah. And we really hope that, the next, also maybe in December, it's too early, but we have a more news about the new drugs and new progress for our community in the next meeting.
And it's important to mention that Neurocrine traveled here from most of them from
So
California.
cool.
Yeah,
And so we had 4 representatives here.
4 representatives, yes.
And we are going to go out to dinner with them
Yeah,
tonight.
with drinks
highly
and
impressed.
yeah.
And it's a real commitment for them to
Yeah.
have.
They
Come
seemed really impressed by everything.
Yeah, really impressed. Yeah, it was really nice to have lots of kids here. We also offered that was sponsored by our sponsors by Praxis nanny service. It was really greatly appreciated by families. We have 2 nannies and lots of toys and everything. So they were really great with kids, with siblings, and affected kids. So the parents can really relax and enjoy the presentations.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think the families were really excited to get to see Neurocrine here, and also for Neurocrine, because of the timing for when they took over this program, they hadn't had the chance to meet our kids, and now they have, and it's huge. It's huge. And to see the spectrum of the children who were represented here.
Yeah, because it was all the spectrum was represented here. Yeah. It was really.
That was my personal highlight. I have a new buddy.
Oh, Mattia.
Mattia.
Oh, what a guy.
Mattia, yeah.
He's awesome, and we were racing over and over and over again. He beat me every time. He was brutal.
I beat him rolling down the hill.
Oh.
After the photo shoot. We rolled down the hill.
Some of us apparently don't let children win. So I just wanted to give everyone who's on the opportunity to ask any questions that you might have for these two. Anything about the conference, anything that you saw that you were curious about, or something you missed.
At this stage, any language you want.
Yeah, please feel free. Roland will translate.
And I think that very important will be offered to all the families an English course. Yeah, because sometimes it was just as Hilary said, was we understood. I mean, everything from our families and
conference readiness.
English course, maybe for the Christmas gift.
English course.
English course.
I thought you said English curses.
No, courses.
That's
Yeah,
level
sorry,
2.
course.
That's level 2.
English class.
I could help with the cursing, but
Yeah, okay. English class. Yeah,
But
would
maybe
be
a
greatly
glossary
appreciated,
or-
I think.
yeah. And a good reminder also that I guess I speak very quickly in English. I think a lot of us probably do. So to slow everything down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if there aren't any questions, we were going to keep this kind of short and sweet because we do have to still go out and talk with our colleagues from Neurocrine and some other families and wrap up the.
I'm empty.
Roland drank his beer, so.
Time to go.
And we really did want to. Oh, Shelley says we can enjoy our evening, so I guess we're there.
Got it.
Casey, did you have any other questions?
No, but I just wanted to remind everyone that we will start with part 2 of our CTR series on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We did have a couple questions on Facebook asking if it was the same CTR series as last year. So I just want to remind everyone it is all new information. We will have a similar SCN8A 101 series, but it will have some more information, new information in that as well. So make sure you guys are coming and enjoying, or at least watching the recording, because we're trying to front load a lot of the learning information that we typically do at the gathering. That way we're all prepared and ready to go for the actual gathering in December. So we're super excited to see you. So for the next 5 weeks, put on your calendars Wednesdays from 12 to 1 Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, please. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone there. And I think, Casey, as you were talking, I was remembering that, it's important that we do contextualize this as a little bit of a different process than last year. New information, but also looking we've been looking at clinical trials as a sort of endpoint or a goalpost, and now that they're actually going to begin enrolling, or the first will begin enrolling, you sort of like some questions also about what that actually looks like and what happens when the clinical trial wraps up, and how can families who aren't going to be in the clinical trial still get involved. So we're going to be answering all of those kinds of questions, as well as, of course, having updates from our industry partners. And Ina, as Shelley said, the invitations will go out this weekend. We'll have the registration link. We don't share the registration link until the previous one has wrapped, just so we don't cause any confusion. So the link will be up soon, and you'll be able to register for the next one today, tomorrow, something like that. I don't know what day it is, so one of the days soon. And so from Germany, we'll sign off, and I will be back stateside late on Sunday, I think, and look forward to seeing everyone on Wednesday.
It's awesome to see you guys. Congratulations on an awesome event.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.